Two men were driving down a quiet road in the evening when they suddenly heard strange screaming noises coming through the car radio. Confused, they started recording and slowed down to figure out where the sound was coming from.
Actually have to be here right now in the middle of the night. Oh, that's how. Dude, shut up. Wait. Bro, turn it up right now. Bro, that's screaming on the radio, man. Push, man. Bro, what the fuck is that? Go now, go!
In the gap, there appeared to be a pale, face-like shape that looked almost like a girl staring out from the darkness. The moment they noticed it, the driver panicked and quickly drove away. Whether it was real or staged is unknown, but it's definitely creepy. TikTok user Devin Coconuts was filming while hitchhiking through a forest without realizing something was on him. There was a spider completely camouflaged on his jacket. He only noticed it after reviewing the video later. If it's just a harmless spider or not is unknown, but if you know, please share. A hiker was walking through the Appalachian mountains when he started noticing strange sounds around him. At first, he heard what sounded like faint noises in the distance, including what he described as children talking or calling out. Then, he heard other sounds.
There's no one around.
In that region, there are long-standing warnings among hikers and locals. Things like hearing voices when no one is around, or whistling from the woods, are often seen as signs to leave immediately and not respond. Whether it's wildlife, echoes, or something else entirely, situations like that are usually not a good sign in the Appalachian Mountains. Two campers were staying in a cabin in the snowy mountains of Colorado when they heard sounds on the roof. When they went to take a look, they saw an animal they couldn't identify. It looked animal-like, but not entirely. It could be a wolverine or another wildlife species seen at a strange angle. But some think it resembles descriptions of dogman sightings reported in different parts of the US. So was it just a misidentified animal on a roof, or something that doesn't quite fit any known species? The campers never found out. A group of friends were camping in the woods in Jefferson County, Pennsylvania, when they suddenly heard rustling behind them. Thinking something was following them, they ran and hid, trying to stay quiet while looking back into the trees. That's when one of them noticed something standing in the distance. A large human-like figure became visible between the trees. One of them took this photo before they left the woods entirely. To this day, they have no idea what was standing there, but the photo still gives them chills. A woman was alone in a forest, leaning against a tree, when she noticed movement behind her. When she turned the camera slightly, she saw this. A wild cat, likely a bobcat, was standing just a short distance away, staring directly at her. Unfortunately, there was no follow-up to the video, so it's unclear what happened next. Reddit user Bring Baja Back shared a video from a solo hike on the Indian Painted Rocks Trail near Spokane, Washington, where things quickly turned dangerous. While hiking, he received a windstorm warning, and within moments, the weather shifted hard. Strong winds picked up, and he realized he was caught right in the middle of the storm. As he started walking backward while filming, this happened.
Oh shit!
A large tree suddenly snapped and crashed down right in front of him, missing him by just a few feet. He reacted immediately and ran toward a more open area to avoid any more falling trees. He eventually made it back to his car without injuries, but it was a close call. A mother named Aisha Wilson Bent received a photo from her son Gabriel while he was at a nearby playground with his brother. The picture showed the two young boys smiling, one of them sitting inside a set of tires. At first, everything seemed normal, but when she looked closer, she noticed something. Her boys didn't appear to be alone. Inside the tire next to one of them, there was a shape. When zoomed in, it appeared to resemble a young girl, staring out from the darkness. Aisha asked her sons if they had edited the image, but they insisted they hadn't touched it. The moment left them shaken, and one of the boys was reportedly too scared to sleep alone that night. So what was really with them at the playground that day? A person shared a video taken near Yellowstone after noticing a strange humming sound in the middle of the night. It started around 1 a.m., a low rumble in the distance, slowly getting louder. By 1:30 a.m., the sound had intensified, strong enough that they could feel vibrations through their entire body while standing outside. Some believe it could be natural geothermal activity, like geysers, underground pressure shifts, or steam movement common in Yellowstone. But the person had never experienced anything like this before. And if it were something common, wouldn't they have recognized it? So what do you think was causing it? On the evening of Saturday, February 14th, 2026, a 60-year-old man named Stephen Neal from the village of A in Dumfries in Galloway, Scotland, went missing. He was last seen around 7 p.m, driving away in his matte black campervan with green wheels and trim. After that, he never returned home. By the next day, when no one had heard from him and there was still no sign of him, concern quickly grew, and he was officially reported missing. Police believed he may have headed into Galloway Forest Park, a vast remote area covering hundreds of square kilometers of dense wilderness. Search efforts quickly began. Mountain rescue teams and a police helicopter scoured the forest and surrounding roads, but there were no confirmed sightings of Stephen or his van. With harsh conditions and such a massive search area, concerns continued to grow. Some believed he may have become lost or stranded deep within the forest. Others feared something more unexpected may have happened after he drove off. But then, an update. Police confirmed that Stephen Neal had been found. No further details were released. A person was driving at around 3 a.m. in heavy rain, looking for a place to stay the night, when they came across this on the side of the road. A group of people was standing in a circle, holding hands. They were moving their arms in a synchronized pattern, almost like they were performing some kind of ritual. Because of the weather and low visibility, it was hard to clearly see what they were doing or why they were gathered there in the middle of the night. Maybe it was just a group wearing raincoats, but it still looked creepy. A woman named Angelica Papasse was on a trip with her daughter when she recorded her singing in the backseat of their car. But without realizing it, she may have captured something unsettling. Next to her daughter, a faint, pale shape appeared on the seat. It didn't match the color or texture and almost looked like a small, childlike figure sitting beside her. At one point, her daughter even glances to the side, as if reacting to something there. When Angelica shared the video on Facebook, viewers quickly pointed it out. She later mentioned that years earlier she had captured something similar in a photo taken inside her kitchen, a faint human-like shape in the background. Some believe both moments can be explained by lighting, reflections, or camera artifacts. Others think the similarities are too strong to ignore. A YouTuber was camping alone in the woods, hoping for a calm night and just sitting down to eat. While she was getting ready to eat, she noticed movement behind her and turned around.
Holy crap, it's a bear. I'm sitting here eating. Dude!
She immediately panicked and shouted at it, trying to scare it off, but the bear didn't run. Luckily, she made it out safely, but it was still a scary moment. A TikTok user was on a winter hike through a snowy forest when things quickly turned unsettling.
Got something coming down, man. I got something screaming down there. I don't know what this is, man. Screaming down there, man. Hello? Where are you? Show yourself right now! Something big moving in there, man. Something real big, guys.
He stops and shines his flashlight around, calling out to whatever might be there. The sound comes again, closer this time, moving through the trees without anything visible showing itself. As he keeps filming, he becomes more nervous. Some say it could be a bear or another wild animal moving through the area, but he thinks the way the sound follows him feels too direct to be random. A TikTok user named CrimeStories39 shared footage of an urban explorer searching through abandoned vehicles in North Dakota.
Very strange shit coming from it. And it's, I don't know what the hell is going on. I've seen, holy shit. Wait.
In the video, the explorer stops at an old truck and shines a flashlight through the rear window while checking inside. As the light hits the glass, a faint face-like reflection appears for a moment in the window. The uploader later said it was the strangest thing they had ever seen while exploring abandoned vehicles, and they never returned to the location to investigate further, leaving whatever that was unexplained. A person recorded footage showing a group of women dressed in black clothing and robes standing in the woods. They were arranged in a perfect circle, each holding a candle. Some think it could be a cultural or spiritual ceremony being misinterpreted, but viewed without context, this looks terrifying. Imagine coming across this in the woods in the middle of the night. TikTok user electrician Kelly was camping in a van with friends when one of them spotted a massive spider sitting on the van door and started filming immediately.
Bro, what is that? Look at the size of that.
If you were camping and saw a spider that big right on your door, would you try to move it or just wait it out? Reddit user Sharpin70 shared a photo they personally took while visiting the Monte Cristo homestead in Junee, New South Wales, a place often described as one of the most haunted houses in Australia. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but when looking closer at the image, something appeared inside, a small, pale figure resembling a child. According to the user, the barn isn't accessible to the public, and children aren't allowed on the property at all, which makes the image even harder to explain. Could it just be a case of pareidolia, where the mind fills in details and sees familiar shapes, or is there actually something there? One night, while staying at their cabin in the woods, this person received a notification from their back porch security camera. Curious and a little uneasy, they checked the footage. That's when they noticed something strange moving across the frame. At first, it appeared as a dark shape, low to the ground, hard to make out. As it moved, its body looked uneven, with long legs and an unusual posture that didn't clearly match a typical animal. The figure crossed quickly, then disappeared into the darkness. Some believe it could be a common animal, like a dog, coyote, or even a mountain lion, captured at an odd angle. Others think its shape and movement don't fully match anything familiar. Unfortunately, the poor lighting and camera quality make it difficult to confirm either way. A person was scrolling through Google Maps and decided to zoom into a random wooded area, checking out different locations to camp. As the image loaded, he spotted something creepy. Sitting up in a tree was what looked like a person, clearly visible among the branches. It all seemed very strange, especially with how isolated the area appeared. Some think it's just someone who happened to be climbing a tree right when the Google Maps car passed by. Or was it someone intentionally trying to appear in the image? But why does this person's face seem so grey? It just doesn't look normal. One morning, a homeowner was checking their security camera footage from the night before, after noticing their back porch had been disturbed. That's when they saw something unusual. Suddenly, something moved across the frame at high speed. As it paused, a nearby plant lifted into the air, reacting to whatever had just flown by. But because of how fast it happened, it's almost impossible to tell what the camera actually captured. There's no clear shape, no obvious explanation. So what do you think that was? A camper was setting up camp when they suddenly noticed something unusual hovering just above the treetops. At first they thought it might be a drone, but the longer they looked, the less it made sense. The object didn't move like anything familiar. Its shape wasn't clear, and it didn't resemble any aircraft most people would recognize. The camper watched it until it suddenly disappeared. He posted the footage to Facebook, but no one had answers. He said it seemed completely silent in the woods, and he didn't get the feeling there were other people around. With no clear explanation, the footage leaves only questions behind. On October 8th, 1976, a 16-year-old student named Teresa Trenny Lynn Gibson was on a school field trip in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park when something unexpected happened. She was hiking with around 40 classmates, making her way back from a trail toward the parking area. At some point, she moved slightly ahead of the group. Witnesses later said she seemed to be in a hurry to get back, but when the rest of the students reached the bus, she was gone. Search efforts began almost immediately. Dozens of people, including trained dogs, combed the mountains for days. Her scent was picked up along nearby trails, even leading toward a road, but then it suddenly disappeared. No belongings were found, no clear signs of what happened. Some believe she may have gotten lost in the wilderness. Others think she could have encountered someone on the trail. But after decades, no one knows how a girl surrounded by her classmates simply vanished without a trace. A camper in the Appalachian Mountains shared chilling footage from an evening at his campsite. As darkness fell, unsettling sounds echoed around him, a woman screaming and dogs barking in the distance. Despite scanning the surrounding darkness with his camera, he saw nothing.
Mike?
The Appalachians have a long-standing reputation for unexplained phenomena, but couldn't this simply be some wild animals like mountain lions or coyotes? A man was hiking deeper into a forest when something ahead of him suddenly made him stop. He spotted a strange figure with an oddly shaped head, looking down as if it was focused on something. Then it straightened up. Its full height became clear, revealing a tall, hunched body that didn't resemble any known animal. The man stayed completely still. After a few seconds, the creature looked away and continued walking. Did it notice the man or intentionally ignore him? The hiker left the trail shortly after. A young couple was on holiday in New Zealand's Bay of Plenty when extreme weather suddenly turned deadly. On January 22, 2026, record-breaking rainfall triggered a landslide at the base of Mount Maunganui, crashing into the beachside holiday park where people were camping. The slide struck without warning, sending mud, rocks, and debris into tents, campervans, and buildings, trapping people beneath it. Emergency crews rushed to the scene. Firefighters, police, sniffer dogs, and specialist teams searched through the unstable ground, racing against time. In the early hours, there were reports of voices coming from beneath the rubble. People trapped, calling out for help. But the conditions were extremely dangerous. Rescuers were eventually forced to pull back at times due to the risk of further collapses. Authorities struggled to even determine how many people were missing, as some campers had already left the area without being accounted for. At least 6 people were feared missing at one stage, including a child. While in a separate nearby landslide, 2 people were confirmed dead after a home was destroyed. As search efforts continued, uncertainty and fear gripped the community. And with shifting ground and limited access, some areas remained unreachable, leaving one haunting question. How many people were still trapped beneath the landslide? In 1985, survival instructor Susan Purvis led a group of inner-city kids on an outdoor program in the Utah desert. Splitting from another group, she took a shortcut with a teenage girl, thinking they'd reach their meeting point faster. Instead, they got lost as darkness fell and rain approached. Tension mounted as Purvis's frustration grew, while the girl cried from exhaustion. They stumbled upon a primitive wiki-up shelter just in time, huddling together to survive the night. By the next day, rescuers found them after a 15-hour search, and thankfully, they were fully safe and sound.
A camper was alone in the woods at night, trying to eat dinner and settle in, when they started noticing strange sounds around the campsite.
Hello? Anyone there?
At first, they brushed it off as just the wind or natural forest noise, but then they heard something that sounded like an object hitting a stump or the ground nearby. Still unsure, they kept eating and tried to ignore it. A little later, another sound followed, like a stone being dropped somewhere close to the tent.
Someone there?
The camper stopped and called out, but there was no response. Despite trying to stay calm, the noises kept happening randomly, making it feel like something was moving just outside the light of the fire.
Who's there? Hello? Someone there? Okay. That's not.
Some think it's all staged, saying the video feels fake. And without any more follow-up information, it's hard to say. Now, let's watch some more camping encounters together.